So today's dish was selected by Mommy. Mommy, what did you select it?
Risotto and carne cecina.
Or ropa vieja. This is a mix of Cuban dish with Italian dishes. This was requested in my personal Instagram account by my friends, so I decided to recreate. Hello, my name is Shabriska.
And my name is Sandra and I am Sumay.
The secret ingredient in this creation is love. All the ingredients that we're going to be using in this recipe today are going to be written in the description box down below. Any instrument or any equipment that is not common, I'm going to leave it in the description box down below. Let's start.
So let's start prepping for this dish. Well, I did groceries this week. I pre-cut my vegetables so it's more easy to cook on a regular basis. So I had some batonette and some diced carrots on hand. You don't have to cut the batonets for the purpose of what we're doing it today, that size. You can just rough chop the carrots and leave them as big. Now we're gonna cut the celery. I got distracted talking to Mommy and I diced one of the stalks. But in reality, you just need to rough cut it like 3 pieces, because we're gonna use this to cook our meat and in the pressure cooker, and you need big vegetables so they don't disintegrate while you're cooking it for a long period of time. Now we're gonna cut our onion. It's a huge onion, so I'm gonna use half for cooking the beef in the pressure cooker, and the other half we're gonna dice it. Half of it is gonna go into our meat when we stew it, and the other half we're gonna use it for the risotto. Always be careful when you cut your vegetables. We don't want you to cut yourself. Me personally, I don't enjoy cutting myself. I hate stopping what I'm doing to clean everything, sanitize it, take care of the wound, put a band-aid and a glove. Now we're gonna cut our olives. Yes, I know they sold them sliced, but my husband bought me this huge jar of olives, so I'm thankful because they had last. I have made a lot of prayers with it, but it takes a little bit of time to slice them. We're gonna use these olives for our ropa vieja. Ropa vieja, in other words, is to flank steak. It's shredded. It's really Cuban in the Cuban culinary world. Now we're gonna use our pilon to mince or cut our garlic. We're gonna cut the beef in this slice. If you don't cut it like this, you're gonna end up with these huge shred strings of meat. This way, when you cut it like this, it's more easy to eat and it's gonna be more easy to shred too. You're gonna add a lot of salt and pepper because you're gonna cook it for a long period of time in water, and you want it to retain some of the salt and so it doesn't wash away when you boil it. Now you want to get the meat with like a nice golden, but this is a new pressure cooker and I still learning to use it, so I didn't got the color that I want, but I bet that you guys can do a much better job of what I did. Once you sear all your meat slices, you're gonna add all your ingredients. You're gonna add a cup of wine, you're gonna add the half onion, the carrots, the celery. You're also gonna add a couple of cloves of garlic, and you're gonna add enough water to cover everything that you have in the pot. Then you're gonna put the lid on and you're gonna cook it around for 30 minutes. Once 30 minutes have passed, this is how it looks. You're gonna take out your beef, you're gonna shred it, and you're gonna save the stock. Now you're gonna add a little bit of oil in a pot, and you're gonna add your onions and you're gonna start sweating them. Then you're gonna add your garlic, and the rest of the ingredients, pretty much it doesn't matter what order you do it because the beef is already cooked. You just making sure that the vegetables are cooked. Really important, use tomato paste on this recipe. It helps with the caramelization and to deepen the flavor of this meat. I have tried to use tomato sauce, but you don't get the same result. So I added like a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste. Be really gentle how you use the tomato paste. It's a concentrate, so if you use too much, it's gonna become bitter. You're gonna use full envelope of sazon and another tablespoon of adobo. Then you're gonna feed your salt and pepper as you go. Now we're gonna start with a risotto. Our risotto is made with arborio rice most of the time. It's rice that is coming from Italy. The arborio rice is really starchy, and that's why it ends up being creamy. Right there, I put the 4 of the onion with a lot of oil to sweat, and then once it was sweat with the garlic, I added my arborio rice. I use almost the whole bag. I only let like a 4 of it in the bag. Once you coat the arborio with the oil, and make sure you use olive oil, it makes a difference. You're gonna add like 2 cups of wine, and once the wine reduces, that's when you're gonna start adding your stock. Risotto is not difficult to do, it's just you have to babysit it. You have to stir it. You have to add those different amounts of stock. You add it like in 3 increments, like you add once, then you let it evaporate and absorb, and then you add another amount of stock as you're seeing in the video, and you just continue stir. The more you stir, the more starchy is gonna become the rice, which is the opposite of what we normally do, but you want that because the characteristic of this rice, a creamy and velvety rice. Once you add usually the 3rd amount of stock, is gonna be almost done, and you just let it reduce and keep stirring, and your grain is gonna be fully cooked. And once it's fully cooked and you have absorbed all the liquid, you're gonna turn it off, and that's when you're gonna start adding your butter, which is gonna add creaminess and shininess and richness to your risotto. But make sure the stove is off while you're doing this, otherwise it's gonna stick to the bottom because it's cooked already and you don't have that much stock in it. It has evaporated or it has been absorbed by the rice. And then after the butter has incorporated to the risotto, you're gonna start adding your Parmesan cheese. You can use Parmigiano Reggiano. I haven't used Manchego. If you have the budget to use a more expensive cheese, go for it. It's totally worth it. And as you add your Parmesan cheese, you're gonna continue stirring, and you're gonna notice that it's gonna become like more creamy and more velvety. And then make sure, even though the Parmesan is salty, sometimes it needs a little bit of salt for flavor and to enhance all the flavors that you have added. Make sure when you use this recipe, you have to heat up your stock. If you don't heat up your stock and keep it hot, you're gonna stop the cooking, and it's gonna take forever to cook the rice. It's not gonna cook evenly. Also, to this stock, I add a couple of threads of saffron because I like the aroma and I like the color that it gives to the risotto. We're almost done here with the risotto. Now we're plating. You're gonna put your risotto on the bottom, and then you're just gonna put the meat on top. It was so delicious. It was really good. And just remember, just put love in your dishes. It's gonna translate to them. That love is gonna get transferred to the food, and it's gonna end up delicious. After I finished putting the meat and a little bit of the juices, I just grated a little bit of more Parmesan cheese on top. If you notice, I'm cleaning my plates. Everybody's like, oh, restaurant place looks so beautiful. And one of the things that made the plates beautiful is that the plates are clean. Even if we spill a little bit on the border, we always clean it, and that makes it look more professional. After I finish putting this Parmesan cheese, we are gonna taste the dishes.
Voilà.
So now we're gonna taste it, but we're gonna taste it really fast because the guys are waiting for us to eat. Let's try it out.
Let's check. So delicious.
I'm gonna try it again.
Me too, me too.
I know it's a little bit tempting, but this recipe is not that difficult. You just need to babysit. Try it out. Risotto goes well with almost any protein. Go ahead and try it out. Don't wait to try it out. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. If you love it that much, don't forget to share it. I see you next week. Bye.
Bye.